And just a quick reminder, this is a video that was playing in the arena on the Jumbotron as well as a live stream. And this was just going to be our logo loop while other teams get ready to perform their routine. All right, so one other thing that we might need a little bit of is let's go ahead and do some motion blur. Let's just make sure all of our motion blur stuff is working all right. And I might just turn off some of these layers that we extracted earlier as samples to kind of start getting the compositing process going and getting these things looking a little bit better. So right here, to kind of blur this out, we need a little bit of motion blur. Two ways you can do this is using Real Smart Motion Blur, of course, or you can probably do the Force Motion Blur as well. I'm going to duplicate our background here. We'll call this Motion Vectors. And let me just solo this really quick. Instead of the combined composite here, we want to get our vector pass. And you'll see with the OpenColor.io, we're kind of getting a weird look on this. We probably don't need this for a vector pass because we want this information in here. This is telling us what to blur out and where our motion blur is going to be. So let's make a new adjustment layer. We're going to use Pro Vectors for this from Real Smart Motion Blur. You don't have to use Real Smart Motion Blur or Pro Vectors. A couple of quick options you can use here is just a regular Real Smart Motion Blur, and you could keyframe this to kind of come in for this wipe or whatever you might need. You'll see it's not quite as accurate. It's always good to turn this stuff down, turn up the sensitivity, and this is a fast way to do this. I would probably do this normally. Let's just delete that. You could also try doing Force Motion Blur. I feel like I have mixed results with that sometimes. Or another motion blur is using Pixel Motion Blur. And as you can see, you know, not as great. We can turn up the samples and get a little bit of that as well. But for this tutorial, anybody wondering how to use motion vectors, let's just go ahead and turn that on. Of course, we're not going to see anything. We need to select our motion vectors pass, which is layer 7. So let's go to our adjustment layer. We'll call this Mo Blur. Let's use our GPU. Gonna save really quick, and we're going to select our motion vectors. Right now it's on source. Like the other ones, let's change this to effects and masks. And you'll see it is a little crazy. So we can turn these numbers way down. All right, and we're getting a little bit of motion blur there. And all I'm doing is kind of fine tuning this to get something that we sort of like.